Taurus G3 Toro. Let's check it out. Taurus got his start making revolvers in Brazil. In fact, the owners actually worked at Beretta. Beretta had a factory down in Brazil making contract pistols for the Brazilian military. And when the contract was over, Taurus bought the factory and they hired all the employees, making the PT-92 and PT-99 Beretta 92 clones, which, guys, are excellent. Since that time, they have made a number of different revolvers and semi-automatic pistols. They have been connected with Smith & Wesson as well and got a lot of cues for their revolvers there. But one thing about Taurus is that their quality control has not been always up to par, even though they do have a lifetime warranty on all their firearms. But in the past few years, Taurus has really taken a big turn. They've opened up facilities in Miami, Florida, and in Bainbridge, Georgia, which is a brand new factory. And that's where this G3 Toro is made. I was really impressed with the G3 and the G3C. The TX22 is a great little 22 pistol. And so Taurus, to me, has really made a big change. I've not always been a fan, but over the past few years, I've become a big fan. And one of the big things about Taurus is the price is usually very reasonable. So it allows people that are going to go out and buy a good quality firearm to be able to afford it, and that's important. And guys, I'm going to tell you, this G3 Toro is just an excellent pistol. The mounting system is one of the best that I've seen. And guys, I have a lot of different firearms that are optics ready. And I was really impressed with this system. And I really appreciate Taurus for sending the G3 and the G3C Toro for this review. Guys, again, Taurus has stepped it up, putting optics-ready pistols that are affordable, and yet the quality is, I'm telling you guys, I mean, Taurus has really stepped it up on their game. This is the G3 Toro, and then we have the G3C Toro. Now, I have the optic already mounted on the G3, but not on the G2C. I wanted to show you how this works. Here we have the cover plate. You see you have two screws. This is steel. And I really like that. A lot of the optics ready pistols are now coming with a polymer cover plate, and this gives you the steel option, gives you a lot more strength, but also the mounting system. Now here are the plates laid out. One of the things I think that Taurus has really done right with these plates is their steel. And a lot of the plates are polymer, and not that that's a big problem, but I really like the rigidity of the steel. You get 4 different plates, each of them are numbered. You get your cover plate, and of course tools, screws, and it has these securing points, these anchor points. So when you put your mount in, it locks in, and then you screw it down, and of course then you can add whatever optic. And it does retain the rear sight. Now we can't show the installation because of YouTube policy, but honestly it's not that big of a deal. So I just like that these are steel. One of the great options about an optics ready pistol is you can leave it as is, and then later on, if you decide, you can put on an optic. This does have the low pro sights, and so it's going to be snag free, and it does have serrations on the back. They're blacked out with a white dot in the front. Of course, let's first make sure the guns are unloaded. You're going to remove the magazine, check the chamber. Now the barrel difference is 4 inches on the G3, on the G3C, 3.2 inches. You have a 15 round and a 12 round mag capacity, but you get a 17 round with the G3, you get 2 extra mags with the G3C. And guys, these are Metgar mags, which gives them a lot of quality. And I've also seen available now with Taurus, they have an extended base plate that gives you 3 extra rounds. So we're going with 20 rounds. And with the G3C, we've got a little bit of a lip here that gives you a good gripping surface on the firearm. The texturing is the same as it is on the other G3s, which that laser texturing is really aggressive, and yet it's not uncomfortable. And so that's one of the big things that I'm liking about these laser etched grips. Also, we have a memory pad right here, so when you grab it, you put your finger right on it. It just makes it so easy. And guys, you should always learn to just, as soon as you finish shooting, put that finger up here and, you know, just keep safe. But this really helps. Polymer striker fire pistol, tinted for finish on the slide. The barrel is stainless steel, and so it's going to give you good life. We're going to take a look at the inside. There are some cool things about this firearm. They have changed the extractor to the side. It was originally on top, but you do have a loaded chamber indicator, which you can look down and see the brass. I really like that. Now on this one, we have one of the Holosun, and this is the 507C. It is with the ACSS reticle. It's a fantastic optic. It does have the chevron, which is nice, and here you can see from a distance it will give you that complete circle. When you put it out to arm's length, you only see the chevron, and so if you're seeing part of the circle, it allows you to bring it in a lot easier. And you can disable that circle and just have just the chevron. But I love the chevron tip because it really gives you an infinite point. And so I've been really big on these Holosun 507Cs. We've done a number of different videos on it. I've yet to do a full review, but this is coming. And it fits just right on the G3, or for that matter, the G3C. One thing I love is the sight is retained when you take off your cover plate. And from what I understand, these are Glock Sights, and you'll notice at the front it is pinned in. We'll take a look at this sight in particular. I like the way they've got this attached, but I'm pretty sure that this is just for Glock Sights. And they are metal. The original G3, and that's what we have here, it has more of a wider base, and so it's not going to necessarily be easier to change out those sights, but there are options. And then it has that same pin front sight. But overall, they're pretty much the same pistol. One thing they've done is they've kind of beefed up around the slide area. And here you can see at the top where the serrations, there's a complete line here where it kind of comes down, it steps down. With the G3, the standard G3, it doesn't have that extension. And to be honest, that's about all I've seen as far as a difference between the original G3 and the G3 Taurus. And guys, the review we did on the G3, I have been totally impressed with this handgun. The budget price makes it really nice, and then of course with the quality. And these are being made again in Bainbridge, Georgia. I think the quality control and the new machinery that they have down there is really making a difference with these pistols. Now we have serrations on the rear, and of course we have serrations on the front. Really easy to grab. The slide pulls back fairly easy. You do have your Picatinny rail, accessory rails up front. You only have one slot with the G3C, but honestly that's about all you need for this short area. Have a nice squared off trigger guard, has ample room for gloved hands. We do have a frame safety. A lot of guys are going to love it, a lot of guys are going to hate it, but that's what it is. There may be options coming that don't have the frame safety, but this has it. And one thing about a striker fire pistol is some people are very wary of the trigger just being the safety. This gives you a little bit of an added security. I'm not personally a big fan, but there it is. We also have our slide stop, and then we have our takedown levers, very similar to the Glock. The slide has been beveled at the front, so it's going to make it easier to put into holsters, and it's going to give it just a very slim, trim look. I'll just be honest, guys, I have been just super impressed with the new Tauruses, and that is saying something because, like I said before, I have not always been a big fan, but I am becoming a bigger fan, and with the quality, and we've shot through the original G3, we've shot about 2,000 rounds through it. And so with this one, we've probably shot about 500 rounds. Just getting a good test on it, and it just has functioned flawlessly on both pistols. Now the trigger has been upgraded from the G2C. We have our trigger shoe here, so trigger safety, and you have to get a full grip on the trigger to be able to activate it. We have some take up right here, and then a nice break. There's a little bit of stacking right before you get to it, but it's not bad. Reset right here, so it's a fairly quick reset. But one of the big things about this trigger over a lot of other striker fire pistols is you have second strike capability. So the striker is in the cock position again, and now we have a little bit of a stronger trigger pull, but we have second strike capability. So if you hit a dead round, you can go ahead and pull that trigger again and fire the pistol. I would like to have been able to show that on video, but we just didn't have any malfunctions. We have our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. We're going to check the trigger pull weight. 4 pounds, 8.7 ounces. 4 pounds, 2.6 ounces. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA. We're using 115 grain full metal jacket. This stuff is just great. And also Lula Loaders for supplying the loaders. Makes it really great to load these mags. We took the G3 Taurus down to the range, and it reminded me of how much I like shooting the G3. I like the grip, I like the angle, it's very natural. This is a very pointable gun, and it seems to be really lightweight, but there's just something about the recoil impulse that makes this a very flat shooting gun. And a lot of that has to do, guys, with your grip. You know, getting a good solid grip, especially in this area. When you're really tightening up, it really mitigates the recoil. It helps you to control the firearm, especially with the 17 round magazines. I mean, it was able to get a little bit more on the end, and you're able to keep it really level. But guys, with this grip, it's really textured well, and just seems to fit right in your hand. This little index point, your finger naturally rests right there. So I found it really easy to grab, get a good solid grip on the firearm. Of course, being optics ready, it's really fast to get on target, take those second and third follow-up shots. You're seeing just the chevron on the Holosun, that is. So you're getting that chevron, you're able to get right on target. And when it comes down to accuracy, it's actually easier just to be able to focus on that one point instead of your sights. And so it's definitely a plus, but it does take some getting used to. And guys, if you've never shot with an optic, you need to practice a lot before you actually depend on it in a self-defense situation. But overall, no malfunctions. We were using the Fiocchi, and it just runs. And so very pleased with it. We had 4 different magazines. And of course, they're Metgar magazines, and typically magazines are the problem when it comes to reliability. And didn't find any problems with the Taurus. Now for disassembly, we're going to drop our magazine, make sure the gun is unloaded. This is a lot like a Glock, so we're going to pull back a little bit on our slide, pull our takedown tabs, and pull the trigger to disable the striker. Then we can pull out our recoil spring. This is a dual captive recoil spring, and it is all steel. Again, we have a 4-inch stainless steel barrel and 3.2 inches on the G3C. This one's been shot a lot, and we have a nice feed ramp. Again, guys, this was very reliable. Here on the slide, internally, it's very well finished. You have your striker safety right here, and again, you have your standard channel. I mean, this, again, very close. And then with the frame, nice beefy slide rails at the front, minimal at the back, which is typical, but, you know, it's a very well done firearm. Now you can see the front sight, it has been screwed in. In fact, at the top, you'll even see where it comes through. But I'm pretty sure that the Glock Sights will fit. And you also have a hole right here to be able to change out your front sight. Of course, the standard sight at the back really looks close to the Glock as well. And guys, that's all you need to do to field strip for reassembly. Just bring in your barrel, guide rod, and recoil spring. Bring it over your frame. There we go. And we're back in business. The weight on the G3C Taurus, 1 pound, 5.8 ounces. The weight on the G3 Taurus, 1 pound, 8.6 ounces. Guys, one of the big things I love about Taurus is that they're budget friendly, and yet they're good quality. They do have a lifetime warranty, and these are made in the USA. This allows for people that can't afford some of the higher end firearms to be able to afford something for self-defense, and I think that is awesome. One of the things about the G3 is I keep this in my shop as a self-defense option, and I really love these guns. I've really been surprised at how much I like it. When I got the G2C, I was a little bit skeptical, After taking it to the range, went with Robbie Wheaton, and guys, we were just impressed. And now with the G3C, I think they've stepped it up. The trigger's definitely better. And then with the Taurus model, you have optics ready capability. So it's a big plus, big win-win. Guys, again, if you're not ready for optics, you can wait, just leave the cover plate on, and I mean, it functions just like the G3C. You add the optic to it, it takes you to a whole nother level. Now, as far as pros and cons, a big pro is the price. I mean, obviously, I think retail, they run about $409, so you're going to be able to get these for considerably less in your gun shop. And that's during normal times. Right now, we're kind of going through a weird time, but this really puts this firearm for an optics-ready option well within the ballpark, probably around $325 to $350. And of course, that's just guessing at market price. The only con I have for these is the brand originally. Taurus did have some issues, some quality control issues. They were quick to fix it, and once they did, they would run like tops. But that is one of the things early on. But honestly, guys, everything I've experienced for the past 4 years has been really excellent with Taurus. And so I really think Taurus is doing a great job bringing budget firearms to people. Or let's say you want a truck gun, you want something, you may keep an H&K by your bed, you keep a Taurus G3 in your vehicle or the G2C. And guys, with the second strike capability, that even puts this above many of the other firearms. Honestly, because of the 12+1 capacity, this is getting really close to the size of your Springfield Armory Hellcat or your SIG P365. And so that is going to be a close market. Yes, it's a little bit bigger, and we're doing a comparison review coming up, and we're going to add in the Glock G43X. So I think that this is coming up, but I think as far as a budget-friendly concealed carry, high capacity, I think that this one is going to match up pretty decently. So having confidence in your self-defense firearm is paramount. And when you're on a budget, sometimes the choices are limited. But I think that Taurus has really turned a corner with the G3, the G3C, Taurus. They're just excellent firearms. And again, we want to thank Taurus for sending the G3 and the G3C Taurus for this review. Being the Taurus, this firearm is no bull. It's a great little gun. Guys, if you depend on a firearm for self-defense, it's really important that you don't go it alone. I've been a member of the USCCA, or the United States Concealed Carry Association, for over 4 years, and it really gives you peace of mind. The USCCA was founded to help you understand laws and self-defense education. They offer industry-leading training, and to me, one of the most important features is they offer self-defense liability insurance. They have 100% risk-free, money-back, bulletproof guarantee. I'll have an affiliate link down below in the description. And guys, when it comes to a self-defense situation with USCCA, you have a friend. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. There's a Tennifer finish, polymer, of course it's polymer, striker fire pistol. Now we have our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. We're going to check the trigger pull weight. It's a very small, thin handgun. Taurus got his start. Taurus got my brain going.
I like that. That's good. Good for you.
Taurus is known for fudge. It's where Brazil and Georgia come together. That's a little scary.